This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Thursday, the 27th day of October in the year 2022. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. The Guyana government is celebrating the recent release of the Global Gender Gap Report, boasting that several measures which were put in place by the government are responsible for the significant progress recorded in relation to women's rights in Guyana. Governance Minister Gilda Shearer said the country has made major progress over the last year to achieve gender equality.
So we're doing quite well, and to break that down, because I think that many times, people make comments about Guyana, and these reports are very useful to show the progress that Guyana is making, because these are measured from a variety of documents: the Interparliamentary Union, World Bank, IMF, OECD, a number of agencies. These data is drawn from. So that, for example, we move from 53 to 35. That's a big leap in 1 year.
Getting into the specifics, Minister Teixeira said progress was made for women in the areas of job opportunities and access to financial services, equal assets, life expectancy, and economic opportunities. Improvements have also been recorded in education, political participation, and access to justice, she noted.
It is considered that Guyana has equal rights with regards to access to justice. So again, this is the important indicator that women are not discriminated against in terms of access to justice.
The governance minister believes that the country will record further improvements next year as the government continues to put systems in place to ensure women participation and the protection of women. The Global Gender Gap Report, which was first published in 2006 by the World Economic Forum, is an index designed to measure gender equality around the world. More news coming up in just a moment.
Office Max, we're all about customer satisfaction. Whether it's clothing and shoes for the ladies, gents, and kids, or for the latest electronics or hardware appliance, we're always thinking of satisfying you, our dear customers. Now you can shop online at www.giftlandofficemax.com or visit us at the Giftland Mall, where we're happy to serve each and every one of you.
Buster, win a full gaming setup, Xbox X, gaming chair, gaming speaker and headset, or any of over 60 weekly prizes like Oculus Quest 2, Mini 2 drone, Nintendo Switch, and many more top gaming prizes. Check below for details.
Saturday, October 29th, Brassman, Grambling, Sand Road, Suzoi will come alive when 592 Movement in Highway Cafe. He's on the big show and jam car. Chutney meets out, the lineup top, Hikari sing.
Up and gone away.
Chomo Primo.
I live in my life.
Call Marvin Burnett, Bonita Willie, and Katie Kish will take the stage live. One Boy's Family, Wadley, and Silver Star's gonna juggle. Early bird tickets $1,000, Kate's $1,500. Chutney meets Soca, Saturday, October 29th in Soesdijk.
Let's tell you now that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is being accused of covering up acts of violence against women over its inaction for over a year in dealing with the verbal assault committed on a woman in India by Guyana's now former High Commissioner to that country, Charandas Prasad. President Irfan Ali on Wednesday announced that Charandas Prasad has been recalled as the country's High Commissioner to India after a video recording of the incident that took place outside the High Commissioner's official residence in India surfaced. In a letter to the press, a group of women rights activists who represent a number of non-governmental organizations in Guyana said the Ministry of Foreign Affairs was involved in a cover-up of the incident, and that must be condemned. The activists said Guyana still has a zero tolerance towards all forms of gender-based violence, and the matter involving Charandas Prasad is not closed and cannot be closed. In the letter, the activists said all right-thinking Guyanese, and especially Guyanese women, must feel a great sense of disgust about the shameful words and actions of Charandas Prasad towards a university professor who was at his residence to inquire about a homeless dog that she would usually feed him. In the statement, the activists said that they offer their full support and solidarity to the professor, Sonia Ghosh, for having experienced such a display of outrageous disrespect, gender-based discrimination, violence, and sexual harassment. The group said it is inconceivable that Guyana, which is in the middle of implementing a UN Spotlight program aimed at addressing the root causes of violence against women and girls, with emphasis on gender-based violence, intimate partner violence, and with a minister and Ministry of Human Services working for the reduction and eradication of gender-based violence, would actively work. The activists also said this is not the first incident where persons in position of authority in Guyana have perpetuated acts of violence against women, and reminded of the sexual harassment of a female member of parliament by a male member of parliament, and the abuse experienced by a female police officer while on duty. The activists noted that it is unacceptable and mind-boggling, and that it has taken more than 1 year for action to be taken against Charandas Prasad. They also said that since it has not been made clear, they are demanding that Mr. Prasad be denied any further appointment in the Foreign Service or appointment to any other government office or government position in Guyana. They also issued a call on the government of Guyana to immediately issue a public apology to the professor in India and the women of Guyana for not immediately taking appropriate action over a year ago when the incident first occurred. The President's 1,000-man initiative will be launched tomorrow as part of a push to address issues facing men across the country. A national committee has been established to spearhead the effort, and that committee is headed by the Chief of Staff of the Guyana Defence Force, Brigadier Godfrey Bess.
These 1,000 men will work diligently with the support of every governmental and non-governmental organizations as we strive towards tackling the generation of issues that have afflicted our menfolk. As we launch mentorship program benefit young men and men in general, we will launch public education and advocate on issues facing men.
The government has indicated that the project is meant to uplift the younger generation of men who face many societal ills such as drug abuse, domestic violence, gang violence, and other violent crimes. It is the hope that the initiative will be able to meet its objectives by providing men and boys with guidance and counseling, recreational and fitness activities, and creating economic empowerment through temporary employment schemes. The 1,000-man initiative under the theme Men on a Mission will be launched on Friday afternoon at the GDF base Camp Ghana Sports Ground. The Chief of Staff said the initiative is a bold and far-reaching one, as it is meant to incorporate 1,000 prominent men in the Guyanese society who will mentor and guide young men from all religions, cultural, and ethnic persuasions across all the administrative regions.
Kissoon's annual mega sale is here again. Come and enjoy fantastic deals from the 21st to the 30th of October. Prices are slashed store-wide. Opening hours 7:15 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturdays, and 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Sundays. Don't miss out on these great deals. See you there.
Calling all prospective homeowners. The government of Guyana, through the Ministry of Housing and Water, will be rolling out its steel and cement housing subsidy program from Tuesday, October 25, 2022. Applicants must be a citizen of Guyana residing in the country, must be in possession of a title or transport for their house lot, must have an approved building plan and loan approval from a financial institution. Persons with a builder's estimate below $6 million can qualify for one sling of cement, 80 lengths of half-inch steel rods, and 63/8-inch rods. Those with builder's estimate ranging from $6 million.
Saturday, October 29th, Brassman, Grambling, Sand Road, Suzoi will come alive when 592 movement in Highway Cafe. He's on the big show and jam car. Chutney meets soap, the lineup top, Hikari sing.
Up and gone away.
Chomo Primo.
I live in my life.
Carvin Burnett, Bonito Willie, and Katie Kish will take the stage live. One Boy's Family, Waddling, and Silver Star's gonna juggle. Early bird tickets $1,000, gates $1,500. Chutney meets Soca, Saturday, October 29th in Soesdijk.
Turning now to the world of tourism, Guyana has been named among the top 35 places to visit in 2023 by National Geographic UK. The popular international travel magazine noted that the decision of British Airways to begin flights to Guyana from the UK in 2023 has thrown light on Guyana. According to National Geographic, while Guyana may be one of South America's smaller nations, it packs a big punch for nature lovers. Placing Guyana at number 13 on the top 35 travel list, the magazine also noted that Guyana's natural highlights range from jaguar stalking in the dense forests to giant anteaters on the savannas, harpy eagles in the skies, and the beautiful Kainchor Falls. The Guyana Tourism Authority has described the announcement by National Geographic as good news. The authority, with support from the Tourism Ministry, has been redoubling its efforts to market Guyana more to international travelers. Just recently, it was announced that the country has seen an increase in its visitor arrival numbers, which are close to the numbers that existed before the pandemic. The Ministry of Tourism is preparing to launch a number of activities to celebrate Tourism Awareness Month in November. A 59-year-old Prashad Nagar resident is in the custody of the Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit after he was busted on Mandela Avenue here in Georgetown with a quantity of marijuana in his possession. In a statement, Kano revealed that its agents intercepted the man Ignatius Mann on Tuesday at a gas station and decided to carry out a search of his motorcycle. A quantity of marijuana was found stashed in the motorcycle, and a subsequent search of the man's Prashad Nagar home revealed a number of bottles with marijuana stashed in them. In total, Kano agents said they discovered 174 grams of marijuana in the man's possession. An investigation has been launched and charges could be filed by tomorrow.
Oh my God! What the shot is by here, so I left him gonna go for dead in. Hey, call an ambulance. Mommy, me get credit. Oh my God! Hey, this. Hello? Hey. Hello? Yes. You don't understand, the man get shot in the chest. He lay down right there, he dying, yeah. And but you don't understand, I see nothing, no eye. I see when this car drive past and shoot his spot in his stomach. The man lay down in front of me here right now, rolling. Oh my God, hey, people, watch what go on here, sir. They shoot this poor boy here, so oh my God. This is where this country go on, wait, dog. This is where the poor thing. Nobody not even help the boy. They just sit down here, so not take pictures, so this is what people can go through in this life here, so what? Oh, I'm bleeding now. Hey, shut your mouth. Shut up! You don't see me there live, what type of people go on? Tell the ambulance. But like you know here, shut your mouth,
It's nothing to laugh about, part 13.
We counting we. From region 1 to region 10, the whole country.
We've just completed our census interview. It's quite a simple process. Whenever the team comes to your home, kindly cooperate and get the interview done, because it's also important for the information to be available to us as a government to plan and implement our programs and projects for the development of Guyana, a development that you will benefit from.
We counting we counting we from region 1 to region 10, the whole country.
Food Max Supermarket, located on the ground floor at the Giftland Mall, is your one-stop shop for all your grocery needs. We stock a variety of imported frozen meat and food products, fresh produce, and pet supplies, freshly made bread. Rotisserie chicken and patties are also available daily. Shop in comfort today at Food Max and let our courteous staff assist you in satisfying your shopping needs. Food Max, the fresh food specialist.
Rooms and more, Republic, a brand new rug on the floor. Come to Republic, come to Republic. Whatever you need, you got it. Come to and get your mortgage. Live the dream with Republic.
95 to 100% financing, 50% waiver of negotiation fees, plus one lucky person gets their mortgage paid in full. Turn some day into today. Talk to Republic Bank about your low-cost mortgage today.
Get in the game with Buster. Win a full gaming setup, Xbox X, gaming chair, gaming speaker and headset, or any of over 60 weekly prizes like Oculus Quest 2, Mini 2 drone, Nintendo Switch, and many more top gaming prizes. Check below for details.
Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up, fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guy Oil Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guy Oil's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
Across the region tonight, Bolivia's government has struck a deal with gold mining cooperatives, agreeing to levy a 4.8% tax on the gross sale value of gold and easing pressure on leftist President Luis Arce amid protests around the country. The deal followed a bout of intense negotiations that lasted more than 12 hours and came after days of protests by miners in the administrative capital of La Paz. Thousands of Bolivian miners wearing hard hats and carrying flags and banners had marched in the highland city earlier this week. The mining cooperatives had been seeking a 4.5% tax while the government pushed for 5%. The minister responsible for the economy said the tax would apply only to gold and not to other metals. Gold exports reached some $2.5 billion last year, but resulted in the payment of just $7 million in royalties, or less than 1%, according to data from the country's mining ministry. Bolivia has seen gold production spike in the last 5 years, but officials and indigenous leaders are worried that the mining is impacting the local environment and waterways. On the 43rd anniversary of independence, St. Vincent and the Grenadines has announced that it is looking at changing the names of some public spaces bearing colonial names. Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves, during his independence message to the country, said to be addressed are the naming of the recommended national heroes by the constitutional body set up to do so, with the creation of a system of locally shaped national honors and the appropriate renaming of several public spaces, which he says continue to carry outmoded, completely irrelevant, and even debasing colonial names. The Prime Minister pointed out that the very park where they gathered for the Independence Parade, Victoria Park, that the name comes from the British monarch Queen Victoria, who he said has never set foot in St. Vincent. He said it should be considered whether such parks should be renamed after one or more persons who have distinguished themselves in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Dr. Gonsalves stated that this must be replicated across the country. St. Vincent and the Grenadines still recognizes the British monarch as its head of state. And finally tonight, international news. The BBC reports that with the upcoming coronation of King Charles III, the Canadian province of Quebec is reviving a debate on the country's ties to the British monarchy. On Wednesday, Canadian parliamentarians overwhelmingly voted no to severing ties with the monarchy, after one leader in the House introduced a motion that sparked a conversation in the House of Commons about the monarchy. His move follows the refusal of 14 recently elected Quebec politicians to recite an oath of allegiance to the King during their swearing-in to the provincial legislature as required by Canadian law. Speaking to reporters, one leader admitted that he had expected his motion to fail, but he said it would show that Quebecers that federal politicians prefer to support the King than the people. In Canada, the monarch, now King Charles, is the head of state. The monarchy serves a mainly symbolic role, with the power to govern entrusted to the Canadian government. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley, reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.